I love TV. I love doing theater. It's
Yeah.
so much fun. But I love doing TV because I can play so much with the character and you can play and just change it all the time, you know? I mean, it wasn't such a it wasn't I guess it is crazy when you have a camera right
Right.
here.
Exactly.
instead of instead of you just being on stage being big, you know, it's like,
Yeah.
hey there, we're right here in your face.
Hi.
You see everything going on, so
Yeah.
fix it. But no, I mean, I feel like it's definitely a lot easier coming from theater going into TV because you still have that, like, okay, I'm training to do something, you know? Um, yeah.
I love that. I love that. Marissa, are you gonna say something?
Oh, no.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna say something. I just wanted to leave the stage if you were.
I was just like listening. I love listening to Entranced.
Invested. I love that.
I was like entranced. Yeah.
So I know we only have a few minutes left. So I kind of want to ask you guys some shorter, fun questions. So we had some very early call times on this show. So breakfast was essential, and I would love to hear your breakfast orders every morning.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, we can start with you, Marissa.
Okay. I did eat breakfast. But when I did,
You didn't eat breakfast? Wait, how do you go through the day? Because I don't eat breakfast either, but I
Dang.
literally cannot survive. I was like
it
shaking. I was
wasn't
like, I
it
can't do
wasn't by choice. But
They were
anyways,
just doing that much. Yeah,
it
yeah.
was just fast. It was just a lot. Like by the time I was done with hair and makeup and changed, they were like, "We're ready for that kind of a thing." It didn't. I had to get better about like fitting in some hash browns and then putting on my bra and then like sticking, and then like
Multitasking,
slipping
right.
on my Spanx and then like like a little bit in between everything. I think my go-to by the end was like a veggie breakfast burrito
Ooh.
and hash browns and apple juice.
Hmm.
I love a good apple juice. And it was a certain kind of brand of apple juice because I can remember I always knew when they like switched out the brand on me or when they'd like use the boxed apple juice. I can't remember. It was one that I liked and one that I didn't. And I would just be like, mm-mm. No, not the right one. I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it. It was just a feeling. But I'm
Wow.
not a big coffee. I'm more of a tea person. So in the mornings, apple juice was kind of my go-to in substitution of the coffee.
Love that. Love that. All right, what
Yeah.
was your order?
I also had a veggie burrito in the morning.
It's that good? I've never had
They were
it.
so
So good.
God.
I would
So
ask for
good.
avocado and I would put the hash browns in the burrito.
Ooh, that sounds fire.
It was delicious, and it's so funny too because like you're saying with the apple juice, like I get so attached to like eating the same thing every day. Like for like all of college, I ate the same bowl of oatmeal every single day, like the same kind. But now, like whenever they changed the crafty because we had been on set for so long, it was like a different kind of burrito, and I like didn't know how to eat
Right.
anything anymore. Like it was like just wasn't I couldn't do it. And the other thing too
Lost.
is like I had to have if they had eggs, I would have like a little bit of eggs with like hot sauce or something. But if the hot sauce didn't come, I like couldn't eat it. It was like inedible to me. So yeah, okay. So I would have the veggie burrito and I would have eggs and I would order a bowl of fruit and a spoon and I would eat all of it. And I would also order occasionally like if they had like a little like, you know, pastry or something.
Mm,
I'm a
love
huge breakfast person. So
Add maple syrup.
it. Ooh.
yes.
To the burrito?
No, that was just what Ari had all the time. Remember I used to bring the maple syrup lollipops?
Oh my
Wait,
gosh,
what?
it's so true.
That sounds delicious.
It was like a child. You were like with like a pacifier, but it was just like my God, except Canadian.
Yeah.
Where do you find maple syrup lollipops? I never heard of that before.
They had it in all the gift shops in Vancouver.
Oh my gosh. Wow. I need to
Also,
cop
I
those.
can't believe I didn't try one.
We had maple syrup on set.
What?
We had maple syrup on set.
Meal.
I don't know about that, but I just brought it to set because I
Okay.
knew Ari was
Okay. I was like, where have I been?
I love that.
Same.
Shy, what was your order?
It really depended on the day, but usually a burrito. I really love bacon, so bacon.
Love
I would get
bacon.
a box of bacon.
Pure bacon, nothing else. Trisha, what was yours?
Oh my gosh. It changed from day to day, but I think typically, like, I love eggs and I love hash browns. I'm kind of a classic, whatever that classic breakfast is, I get it. And then same with the hot sauce. And then I learned you could add salsa. So I'm like, can I get some salsa on the side? And then I got spoiled and I'd be like, if there's no salsa or hot sauce, I'm just not gonna eat. That's not true. I would still eat, but I'd be like miserable about it. And same with the whole, you just gotta scarf it down, Marissa. You just gotta find a moment and just be like, sorry, I'm in the bathroom. And you're
Just chowing down.
I'm such a fast
Truth.
eater now. Like I used to be a slow eater, but now like, ooh, you give me 5 minutes, it's gone. But
with
then
you.
I learned there was something called the spa, and it's, I know, right? It was like a hidden menu thing, and it's spinach, poached eggs, and avocado. So I know.
Thing.
I
We
know.
had our own secret menu? What?
Yeah. It was a secret from all of
How did
us.
you not tell us this?
Because it's a secret.
Already
It's a
asking the right
secret menu.
question.
Well, I found out like the last week that we were shooting. And as I started to eat it, because I was like, I love poached eggs, but then I'd be like so hungry. Like a poached egg and like a handful of leaves and a piece of avocado just doesn't cut it for me. Like
Burns like that.
I need like an entire potato and like,
With the sauce.
like Gaston.
With the
like,
hash
a
browns.
dozen eggs.
100%.
I love that.
What was yours?
My order?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna just give you a disclaimer. I'm not a big breakfast guy, but because I usually like will fast and then have like a big lunch and a huge dinner. But because we started so early, I realized I could not do that. So I would order a lot of food at breakfast because I never knew when we were gonna have lunch. So I would order an egg white omelet with bacon and spinach. And then I would get a side of oatmeal with brown sugar and like raisins inside of it. And that would like keep me satiated throughout the day. That was like my go-to. And some black coffee just to give me the energy.
Wait, we could do egg whites?
Yes, Trisha. Yes.
Not egg whites.
That's what you get for not telling us about the spa.
Yeah.
I found out about that with 5 days left to shoot. Y'all didn't want to eat that. It wasn't enough food.
I love that.
Now we know. Now we know.
Exactly.
God.
Now we're informed. You guys are incredible. I know we have some people in the waiting room, some extra special guests. But thank you so much for chatting with us, and we will talk soon. I can't wait.
You, man.
You're doing amazing.
Love you. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Best host ever.
Thank you, Trisha.
We love you.
Love y'all.
Having so much fun.
Oh, you're the best. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to just let in these guests now.
Goodbye.
I'll see y'all.
Love you. Bye. Wait, how do I leave?
Let's see. We got a special click pulling up right now. And it's also a very special day. Shar, what's up? How are you? Yo, what up, Madison?
Hi, can you guys hear me? I've never done this before.
What's up, Josette? Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Josette! Thanks, guys!
What are you doing for your birthday today?
Well, I'm here with you lovely people. Obviously, I had to celebrate with Rydell.
Celebrating the right way. I love it.
Josette, have you had any chocolate today?
Of course I have. Come on,
Correct
Addison. You know
answer.
me. I know you. We started with the Kit Kat. That's how we start our day.
Exactly. Josette,
Right,
you were just
speaking of
asking
breakfast.
about all of the breakfast stuff. Josette and I would start our day with chocolate donuts.
I
We would
love
find
that.
what is the sugariest thing we can eat at 4 o'clock in the morning and we would eat it.
If we shared it, it was okay. You know?
Exactly. All in moderation.
So we would get two. We would get two different flavors, and then we would swap half and half.
Yes,
I love that. Efficiency right there. Efficiency.
exactly.
Yes.
I'm so excited to have you guys, my socias. We got to spend so much time together on set. Josette, I want to start with you because you, I think, are our certified scene stealer of the season. Like every time you're on screen,
Correct.
your eyes just like gravitate towards you and your performance. So I'd love to hear just like what were your inspirations for crafting Dot, and how did you, I guess, go about improvising as her on set too?
I kind of treated Dot as the audience, and any way that I felt they would be reacting in the scene, I kind of placed myself in Rydell as the audience viewer. So if things were going down, I felt like the audience would be like, "Excuse me, what is going on?" That's what I would be doing. I also based a lot of her mannerisms off of like old comedians. Like Lucille Ball was my main inspiration for her, like the way that she uses her physical comedy. That was huge when it came to Dot.
Wow, that's amazing. And now that you say that, I can see it too, like in the reactions and the
Right?
jaw
Now you
drops.
see
Yeah,
it. And
$100%.
she's also a fellow Paramount queen. Like
Oh,
the
there we
Desilu
go.
Studios is it Paramount. I didn't even realize until way later. So full circle.
I love that you're keeping it in the family. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Speaking of performances, Madison, I'd love to talk about Susan. I feel like while we were shooting, Annabelle made it a point to say that the only villain in the show was the 50s. But I feel like from the outside looking in, from like first glance, you could definitely peg Susan as sort of the villain because she's, the queen bee and runs everything. How did you go about navigating this quote unquote villain role with all of your friends? Because I feel like we're all so close and tight, but then on camera, it's a different dynamic.
That's such a great question. First of all, I'm loving in the chat. I mean, even just on TikTok, people are like unapologetically Susan fans, even though she's a little problematic. I love you guys.
Just a smidge. Yeah,
I see
yeah.
you guys in the chat. I appreciate it. Susan's a little complicated. I think when you first meet a lot of the characters in our show, like in our pilot, they kind of fit into the stereotypical roles of like the jock, the mean girl, the nerd, the outcast, all of those things. But as our show goes on and you get to like learn and like creep into these little characters' lives, you find out that there's like a lot more than meets the eye. Obviously, I don't want to like spoil anything for those of you who might still be watching, but for those of you who are super fans, you know that Susan has some secret tea and drama. And that's actually, that big secret that Susan has is something that our showrunner, Annabelle, and I talked a lot about throughout the season, and like really was a justification for why she is so attached to Buddy and like almost like trauma bonded to him. And sort of justified for me a lot of the times like why she had it out for Jane for so long. But like as you see during the series, like she does like align with the Pink Ladies until things go wrong. But like I don't think she's a mean girl. I think she is a very vulnerable human being who's had a lot of trauma, has a horrible relationship with her mom, and just like needs a good group of people to get her out of there.
Love that. Love that answer.
The parents are villains, the Socs are not, so
There we
Team
go.
Soc. We're not that bad.
Team Soch, baby. Shar, speaking of Sochies, so I have a few questions for you. The first is the Paramount team has literally kept reaching out to me because they were saying how good your BTS is. They like love all your TikToks. They love all your reels. Your content is just off the charts. So I would love to hear how you went about getting all that BTS content while on set.
You know what's kind of funny? I posted one recently. It was like episode 10 BTS. And there's a video, the very last video, where all of us are talking about the belly button eye conversation.
Oh.
Have you watched it? Anyways.
I don't think so.
On that day, I had my belt, I took my phone, I slipped it into my belt, and I just pressed record.
Oh my God.
Obviously, I was like, I'm not gonna post anything like crazy, I'm not gonna like expose everyone. But honestly, whenever anyone was having a weird conversation, crazy things were going on, dance parties were constant. I would just whip my phone out and just try and capture as much as I could. And now it's so crazy to go back and look at all the footage. It makes me actually really emotional because I feel like I've been resisting looking at all of it over the last year, but yeah.
And speaking of dance parties, if you guys don't know, Shar is like literally a world-renowned dancer. She started in dance. She has such an amazing training in dance. I'd love to hear how that informed your performance as an actress and creating Rosemary.
Yeah, definitely. What's so interesting about dance is you're taught to tell story pretty much just through internalizing it and expressing it without actually saying anything, like with words. It's all very body language and just expressing it through your eyes and your emotion and everything. So especially with someone like Rosemary, who's a little bit of a side eye, girl who's always serving that look.
Bombastic side eye.
Hey.
Exactly. Yeah, I feel like that really helped me with that, you know, just like always having an opinion in the back without even having to say anything at all. And just growing up with dance and just like being able to pull out these random characters through so many different genres and showing up. I feel like the Mean Girl, I knew I was going to play Mean Girl one day. It just,
Wait, why? What was the sign?
Well, everyone in high school would tell me that. I wasn't a mean girl in
Were
high
you?
school.
I'm about
No,
to say,
I wasn't.
everyone's
Guys,
saying it.
That's in the comment. Charlotte is not
Comes
mean
out.
at
I'm not a mean
all.
girl. I need to really make sure the world knows that I am not mean. But I don't know. I definitely have a little bit. I think my image is Soch, but I think my inner is, I don't know, maybe like more pink or maybe more thespian.
Interesting. How about you, Madison? What would you be in?
Guys, I'm a thespian. I don't know where Susan came from, but she is not me. I am not her. I was with all the theater kids and like doing the like massage train or like the weird things in the background. Like that was just my entire high school experience. I was not cool. I did not hang out with the popular kids, and quite honestly with acting stuff like that, like I wasn't around that much. So yeah, the theater kids like have my heart. Victor, who plays, remind me Victor's character name.
Floyd? Right?
Floyd, I think.
Yeah.
He's my like there's Dot and then there's Floyd. Like every scene that Victor is in, he is so funny. And in Jason's number, Buddy's number, where he like stamps the giant red thing on the paper, the facial expressions kill me every time. So I always love watching the thespians.
Love that. How about you, Josette?
I think I would have probably been a wallflower, which is kind of
I think I
shocking,
was
but
too.
maybe not to you guys who actually know me. That like I portray, Dot is very over the top, but in real life I'm a little bit more introverted when it comes to like high school. Either that or maybe the newspaper crew. I feel like I'd be the one holding the camera, taking photos of everyone.
I love that. That's actually so smart.
Yeah.
So I also have a question just about the audition process for you guys. I feel like you all had very unique audition processes. Charlotte, I'll start with you. What was it like auditioning for Rosemary? What was that journey like?
Well, I auditioned for quite a few different Soch roles. But never Rosemary. And I went in for an in-person dance audition, which was so amazing and it was so cool. And I remember being in the waiting room and all these dancers and all these amazing actors are there. Alethea walks up into the room and she looks at me and goes, "Oh, Charlotte!" And everyone goes, "Whoa!" And I'm like,
Yep.
after that day, I get an email saying, "We want you to read for Rosemary right away, straight to Zoom, let's do it." I'm like, "Who's Rosemary?" Read the script and fell in love with her and her chaoticness and sharpness. And the audition process was amazing. I'm sure all of you can relate. It just felt like a workshop. It just felt, they made us feel so comfortable in the room and we just got to play. And I didn't feel like this like nervous, I don't know, I got to do everything right and say everything right. They really just wanted the best for you. And I auditioned for Rosemary, got pinned I think the next day, and then found out a few weeks later. So
That's epic. Oh my gosh. And how about you, Madison? What was your process like?
So I grew up, as I said, being like a total musical theater kid, but I was honestly terrified of doing musical theater professionally. So I went into TV and film because I was like, oh, it's easier. I love doing acting, but I don't have to sing and dance, and that's too hard. And so Grease came around and I got the audition and I almost turned it down because I was like, I don't think I could do this show. I don't know if I have the training. I know a lot of people that go to musical theater college and they take it so like it's like a full life and like triple threat, all the things. So I was really honestly like scared to audition. I did a first audition in September and then I didn't hear anything for about like a month. And then randomly got a callback. Callback was one of the best experiences of my life. Again, like Charlotte said, like it just felt like a conversation, a workshop. And then after that, I went into testing. And so when we were testing for, I tested a lot with like other other characters on the show because they were very much like trying to build the ensemble. So I was on Zoom for I think like 7 hours meeting with different people. So I met with all the people that didn't get the roles. Like I met everybody. But like it was so clear when I like tested with our other lovely cast members like who was like so these characters, and so after that like I was like waiting for a week and I was up for a different show. It was just like a really long process. I did, and you guys probably feel this way, it's a musical show, so I did like I sang multiple times on tape for them. I had to do a dance call, I had to do all these scenes, I did workshops with them, I read with lots of people on our show. It was just like so many rounds, and by the end of it I was like over it, y'all. I was
of course.
I was like, you better tell me that I got this role or like I don't want to hear it. And as you guys saw, because they posted our reaction videos, but they like tricked us and they like made us come back in and think we had to audition again, which like low-key ruined me inside. And then I got on there and then like the recording light popped on and I was like, what is going on? And they told us we got it, which I'm so glad now that I have that footage. But yeah, what about you, Josette?
First of all, I need to say, Madison, thank God you ended up auditioning because I can't
really
imagine
glad I
a world
did.
that doesn't have you as Susan. Like literally, I can't imagine a world without you as Susan. My audition process, I actually auditioned for Lydia first. And it's funny because Neve, who was cast as Lydia, auditioned for Dot first. So we did a whole little switcheroo. Yeah, I know. Mind's blown. And then I have to tell you guys the story. I mean, I've told all of you guys before, but I need to tell everyone else the story about how I ended up having to cut my hair for my audition for Dot because I got tangled in my own hair. So basically, I was like doing the scene and I thought like, what's something Dot would be doing? And I was like braiding my hair as I was doing my audition. And then my hands got stuck in my hair. And I should have left it in the original audition, but I have footage of me with my hand stuck in my hair, like screaming for my mom, who was like crying, laughing at me. And she's like, well, we're gonna have to cut that out. So my first day that I came to set, I had like one sad, like short part on the one side from my audition for Dot.
Oh my God.
Wait, I'm so glad it worked out that way, but that's hysterical.
Yes.
It was worth
It's
it. You
very
got the
Dot
role.
of me though.
Yeah. That's incredible.
Max,
Yeah,
what about you?
tell
I
us.
remember it very vividly because I was shooting something else. I was living in Pittsburgh for like another movie and I hadn't had an audition in like 2 or 3 months, which is kind of like weird. And so I remember coming home and mom was like, why is it so dry? And I was like, I don't know. I was like, I feel like my team might be like holding on to them because I'm like actively doing something. And I was like, I just have a feeling when I get home, I'm going to get some auditions. And I literally got on the plane and landed and like 5 auditions flooded into my inbox. It was like insane. And so of course I was like, okay, ask and you shall receive, but now I gotta like compartmentalize and time manage and all that. And when I came across the Grease title, I remember just lighting up because I had seen it in like Deadline and a lot of like articles. And it was the first musical that I'd ever done in high school. Like when I was a freshman, I auditioned for Grease. And I remember, as you guys probably know, like most seniors and juniors get priority, like they get the lead roles. So I was like, okay, look, I don't want to lead. I know I'm not going to be Danny or Kaneki. All I want is to be Teen Angel and to sing Beauty School Dropout, and I'll be good. I'll just have my little mic drop moment. And so I auditioned like with all my heart. And I remember running to the little like cast list and my eyes were going down and down and down. I didn't see my name and I was like, dang, I definitely didn't make the cut. And literally at the very bottom, I was like in the ensemble, I was like a bad seed. I didn't even have a role. And of course it was like a bummer in some sense, but I was like, you know what? I made it and so many other freshmen didn't. So I was like, okay, I'm going to put my all into this. So I like gave him a name. I named him Hot Rod and like gave him a whole like backstory and all this stuff. And I was like, you know what? I was like, one day, like my time will come. And literally now I'm a part of the official Grease franchise. So like, it really was like a dream come true when I was auditioning and like got the producer session and got the director session. And I remember when I met with Annabelle and Alethea, it was all on Zoom, like all of our sessions were. Yeah. I was in a hotel room. So I had to set it up on like an ironing board on a box of water. And then I put my laptop on top of that. So it was very janky. It was not professional.
You just described my current setup right now.
There we go. See, that's what I mean. We do what we got to do. But it did the trick. And yeah, the next day I got the call that I was going to be joining the show, and I was up in Vancouver like 14 days later. Dreams come true.
Love you, Maxwell.
Yeah. I love y'all. No, seriously. So quick question about music stuff. I feel like my favorite song from the show changes every single day. Every time I re-listen to the soundtrack. What songs do you guys have on repeat right now?
Well, Crushing Me is forever stuck in my head. Thank you, TikTok.
Yes, big time. Big time.
That I love Face to Face. Not that I feel like it's slept on, but like that
love
is
Face to
such
Face.
a bop. And like we need to figure
Yeah.
out like a dance or like something to do with it because more people need to hear that song.
I agree. That was the song when I heard the demo to Face, I was in love with it. And I still am to this day, over a year later. Yeah. Char, how about you?
Mine, it was the first time I heard it, and it still is New Cool. It's forever. That intro is so amazing. I'm in my car. Every time I get in my car, it's the first song I put on, and I'm lip singing I'm singing really loud, so loud in my car. And
Belting.
people are staring at me as I drive down the street, but it's my pump up jam. I love it.
How about you, Josette?
Oh, this is hard. This is so hard because I'm like, oh yeah, I agree with both of you guys. But okay, I feel like Brutal Honesty currently is replaying constantly. Specifically, the T he is like my favorite thing in the world right now. Yeah, that would be definitely currently top played song.
I love that. And Josette, for you, what was one of your favorite scenes to shoot?
Oh, that is hard. I would have
know.
to say maybe and Jive, just because we were all together, and it felt like I had never gone to a high school dance before, like ever before this. So it was my experience of having a high school dance, and everyone dancing together, everyone dressing up beautifully. I really do think that was my favorite moment.
I love that. I also love Dot's monologue scene at her party. Like, I remember being so impressed by you on set. Like, Josette had to do that over and over and over again, and the neck swings and like the pigtails going everywhere, and you just nailed it every take.
I got whiplash. Next day, I couldn't figure it out. Yeah.
I remember that. You're like, Max, my neck hurts. I was like, yeah, you
My
were
neck,
doing it.
why does it hurt?
You're like, you gotta do that the rest of the season because we love that and it's not going anywhere.
They're like,
Yeah.
keep that up. Madison, do you have a favorite scene that you shot?
Let's see. I don't want to spoil things.
I know.
It's so hard.
I know.
Let's just say, for those of you who know, there is a scene in the final episode in which cars are involved. And that was really cool to do because it is very similar to the original Grease. And I'm a huge Grease fan. And Marissa and I got to do a lot of our own stunts. And it was just like a dream come true. And that day was very, very special.
I love that. Well, I know some of us have to run, and I know we have some people, special guests in the guest room, but you guys are a dream come true. And thank you for spending your birthday with us, Josette.
Of course.
Happy
Thank you,
birthday.
guys.
Okay.
Bye,
Love you all.
everyone. We love you so much. Have so
Hey,
much fun.
thank you.
The people after us are incredible.
Amazing. Hey, 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 hey.